This is Career Juice, a show that talks to real people with real jobs about all the juice that it takes for them to be successful in the careers that they chose. I'm your host, Tiffany Yard, author of How to Wine with Your Boss and the owner of Motovino, an education platform that pairs professional development training with really fun programs in wine. Today we've got Shannon McDermott with us, a Canadian freelance journalist and owner of the Every Woman Project. So let's get started.
The whole thing is that I literally, you have to be ignorant with like who pours this much? Just ignorant.
Good morning.
Shannon, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You are not only a content specialist, but a freelance journalist. And on top of all of that, running a nonprofit called the Every Woman Project.
Yeah.
So before we even get into the awesomeness that is Shannon and all of the outside stuff that you do, how did you get into writing?
Honestly, it was really the only thing I've ever been good at, I feel like. And it was just one of those things that the more I explored it and really looked into my opportunities, the more I realized that I could make a career out of the only thing I love to do.
Well, after having the city beat the living daylights out of you.
Yeah. So it's just this place, you know, I came here and I didn't know anything. I came here with no plan, no friends, no family, no job, no visa, no nothing. I just knew I had to be here. And when I touched down, I would just write about anything I could. I, like every corny aspiring writer, started a blog that when I look back and read it, it's embarrassing. You know, I just thought I just had all these opinions that people would care about, and it's actually some of the dumbest stuff I've ever read. And once I really started reaching out and meeting people and developing the network and getting into more professional spaces, I realized that everyone needs a writer. And it's such an undervalued skill because a lot of people think that they can write. And they think, well, I wrote in college, or I wrote here, I can write my name, so you really don't do anything special. But once they see the value of having a true storyteller and a true writer on board writing their stuff, it's night and day. So I just put together this website and, you know, boasted about what I did and handpicked a few people that I've worked for before to give me some testimonials, and it just snowballed on itself. And you know, I have more work than I can handle. I have to subcontract out now. And it's just really, I just figured out that I have a skill that people need, and it built up my confidence. I was not confident for a long time.
It's probably what slowed you down a bit too, because you probably would have got there faster had you had the confidence up front.
Yeah, and writers by design are extremely self-deprecating people. So,
well, you're also part of an awesome fellowship for a great university out of Toronto. How did you get into that?
Well, I'll tell you the honest truth. When Trump got elected, I was looking for my way out of this country. You know, building everything that I built in New York City, I wanted to not just leave, I wanted to leave with purpose. And you start putting something out there and you start exploring a path truly and intently, things will open up for you. And this fellowship, it sort of just fell into my lap. A friend of mine knew someone in the program, and they were like, you would be perfect for this. And but what I came to learn was it's only designed for professionals. So by design, it's lawyers, doctors, people with professional designations, and they turn them into journalists with a specialty in their field. So you'll have a doctor writing about health issues. So I'm like, I have a bachelor's degree in political science 500 years ago. So I sold myself as a life expert. I laughed the same way, and I legitimately honey badgered the program director, and it took him, he gave me an interview to get in, and I absolutely bombed it. You have to pick a beat, so me not having an expertise and not being a lawyer or a doctor, an obvious beat, I selected corporate social responsibility because it was the closest thing I could link. And so I had my interview, and he asked me certain questions about corporate responsibility that I knew nothing about because my powers of BS failed me that day. Tenacity, you have all of the soft skills for journalism, but for this program, you don't have the accolades. And I was like, I think you're crazy if you don't let me in this program. I will be like, just let me in. And I kept bothering him. And then finally he wrote me back, and I think I just beat him down to the point.
That's all it takes.
Yep, that's all it took. And he was like, he gave me an assignment. He was like, do this assignment. And in my head I was like, oh, do this assignment. I'll see you in class in September.
Nice.
So I did the assignment, sent it to him, got accepted. I was out in New York. I moved home. I moved home to Toronto. I did the fellowship for a year. It was amazing. My writing skills are great. The people I learned from, I mean, Pulitzer Prize winning journalists are just sitting at a table for 8 and we're just shooting this, talking.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that kind of opportunity didn't come by chance. The lessons here, which I'm sure you'll carry with you forever because it's part of your repertoire, all the skills that you've attained. Ultimately, no isn't an option.
It's not.
And when it's not, guess what? You will make the phone calls
over
and over again.
Absolutely. And that's, if I could impart one thing, is that, if you believe it, other people will believe it. And that's the one thing that New York taught me. I learned from people like you and people who I respect professionally, is that you gun for it. You get it because no one's going to give it to you.
Never.
And if you believe it, other people will believe it. Like, it's just my favorite thing about New York City.
I see your glow.
Yeah.
And you know me. I come from a Christian lens all the time. Yeah. But we still connect.
Absolutely.
We found ways to, again, see it all, the bigger picture. And I love you for that. Good people are good people.
Good people are good people. That's it. And motivated people are motivated people. And when you get around people with that drive too, I also think your network is important. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Seriously.
And that's what I loved about my fellowship, was that I truly felt like the weakest link every day. Unbelievable individuals in this program. And what that did was, every day I only spoke if I felt like I had something worth saying. I took it very seriously, and I was just at my best because I felt like I was the biggest idiot in the room. And I was like, let me
soaking it up.
Yeah, I was like,
it's the power of taking really complex things and making it simple.
Yeah.
That's a true sign of intelligence for me, I think.
Yeah, and that's the artistry of writing, is to take something. I mean, I worked with you in the legal world, and we take a lot of very dry, very factual content, and you have to turn that into something digestible and something that you want to write about. And, well, it can be challenging.
She wants to hear about.
Yeah. But I love that challenge. That's kind of my art. It's what I do. It's what I'm passionate about.
And so, how did Every Woman project start? So this is your brainchild, your baby.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you for getting this off the ground.
Yeah.
And it's making such traction in 5 or 6 cities around the country.
We're in 6 cities, soon to be 8. I'm very excited. I was just watching a YouTube video, I was just, in a social media spiral of boredom and procrastination, as writers spend most of their lives in. And I came across this video, and it was just a very quick, short documentary explainer video following this homeless woman and talking about periods. And it was simultaneously devastating and such a no-brainer. I was like, this is crazy. So I reposted the video on my Facebook page. This was simultaneous New York, Toronto. Let's just get a few pals together, throw some tampons and stuff in a bag, and hand them out. Because it's not only financially a crisis, it's a hygienic crisis. I still don't understand why tampons and feminine hygiene products aren't given out for free like toilet paper. And I also believe that if men experience their periods, there would be tampons and pads just everywhere.
Yeah, and tax-free.
and you think about, I've been broke enough where my period has come and I've been like, oh my God, I don't have $20 for all the things. I can only imagine someone who actually is experiencing homelessness, or you don't even have to be homeless, but just below the poverty line, and what that brings on a monthly basis financially and then hygienically. We launched in 4 cities. We did Chicago, Los Angeles, Toronto, and New York City.
That's right.
And we got donations. We got my Chicago team is unbelievable. Tamiko, I just don't know what I would do without you. But
Shout out to Tamiko.
Tamiko, I love her. But she managed to get 100,000 tampons donated. So it's just, things were just coming out of the woodwork. And, it's just so, I hate to sound like that uppity idiot talking about a charity, but the perspective it gives you is insanity. And these women are literally, the beatings they've taken, their faces are black and blue from whatever happened to them the night before. And they're like, are you serious? When they got a package, because our care packages are full of enough for a 1-month supply for the average woman. Mm-hmm. And so we give out tampons, pads, liners, either baby wipes or hand sanitizer, and some chocolate because we all need chocolate.
What I tell people all the time is, as crazy and as shitty as life feels right now, whenever you turn on the TV, always look for those who are helping.
Yeah.
Look for those who are doing something.
Yeah.
Look for those who aren't afraid to just say, hey, look, I put up a hashtag.
Yeah.
Get behind this.
Yeah. And
so thank you.
And it reminded me that this project was founded when I was in the midst of the worst heartbreak I've ever experienced in my life. And I just needed a distraction. I needed to throw myself into something because I didn't want to be that person that was upset every day. I was like, if I find something, and I can't express enough how if something's going wrong in your life, or you're sad or you're really down, really the greatest cure is being kind to other people and helping, and not just seeking help for yourself, which I think is important. I think mental health is extremely important, and you need to seek the help you require. But that kindness and just focusing on an issue or just diving into helping others, it's healing. It's magical what it does for you.
Puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
And you see what your role is.
That cured my heartbreak. It really did. I'm obsessed with finding a cure for heartbreak. I did a podcast on it.
I know you.
Yeah, I'm heartbreak. If you're just down or your self-worth is in the garbage, help others, man. And like the turnaround time of feeling good about yourself, and like Western civilizations where it's a rat race.
Oh my God. And on top of the rat race, you're constantly comparing yourself, and you have something to compare yourself to, because there's always something coming up.
The Instagram.
Oh, I thought that idea was mine.
Yeah.
I thought that look was mine.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're literally, the beauty about New York City that I appreciate is that when you walk down the street, you can look left and see poverty. You can look right and see riches. I mean, literally, from block to block.
Literally.
And yes, for what it's worth, there's some shitty aspects to that. But more importantly, you have something to aspire to.
Yeah.
You've always got a bigger picture. It's never what it seems here in New York.
No.
And I think, especially someone like me who was born and raised here and watched it change, that fire is still there. You never sleep. There's no reason to. You might actually miss something.
Yes, absolutely.
And frankly, it builds character.
Yeah.
And it makes you tough. But to your point, definitely having to manage the pain and the hard work that comes with that, and the doubt that comes in yourself. And like to your point, confidence and all the things that you struggled with, and finding your voice and being sure that you nurtured that shit. Whenever someone told you that it wasn't okay to have your lane, it wasn't okay to do the things that you're doing.
Be humble. Don't be humble. Don't be annoying. Like I say, don't be humble with the things that you can back up with great work.
Right.
I'm not humble with my writing. With my writing, no, I'm amazing, and I will make your content way better. This is crazy what you're writing right now. Like, this is like crayon diagrams of stuff. What are you doing? This is a big glass of wine my pal poured for me. And I'm like, I've been drinking this for what feels like an hour.
Well, I've been sipping slowly. I suggest you catch up.
I think I've been flapping my yap for about an hour straight.
Yep.
What are we drinking? It's so delicious.
So
you've never led me astray wine-wise, so I wasn't
Fair.
gonna ask too many questions.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so we are drinking Vermentino. Okay. This is an interesting grape because what it is a wonderful value wine with so much complexity that it could be worth so much more if it was more mainstream. So think of it like the cousin of a Sauvignon Blanc with the flair and finesse of like an $80 Chardonnay.
You into wine at all?
Oh my God, am I? Yeah, a few trips here and there, some workshops, nothing crazy.
Just a low-key business and, whatever.
What I love about this wine in particular, you can get a really good bottle for $15. And then, which means that you can probably get a case for a party and not break the bank.
That's amazing.
Or
just a case for my house.
Honestly, I tell you who the brand was. When you think about the mentors that you've had, what are some of the greatest attributes? Because I'm sure you've had more than one, but what is one of the one connected that you think has been so important and influential in how they move with you, how they talk to you?
Focus. I think that one thing I severely lack, and the biggest thing I'm still working on myself, is my focus. I think that as writers, anyone out there who's I know you've written a book, and I'm sure you've experienced, you start it, you stop. You have another idea, you hate this idea, you stop. And then fast forward, you just have stacks of notebooks of half-finished things. Or one of my mentors, Brian Ash, who is the person who's responsible for opening my eyes to the world of screenwriting, which has now become my passion and obsession. He is never not writing, he's never not working, he's never not pitching. And he's always on me about you're not doing enough. You're not, writers need to write. We have all these ideas in our head. No one's going to stop us on the street and say, you look like a person who just has a ton of ideas. Listen, Fox Studios is just down the road. Listen, stop me on the street and ask, no, I'm just kidding. So what he always implores me to keep, if we're not writing, if you're not sending out content, you're not doing anything. It's intimidating to watch how hard the successful writers actually work, but at the same time, it's also inspiring, and it also puts a mirror on me to be like, well, listen, this is where you want to be. this is how you're acting and working and focused.
So what's the one piece of advice that you've gotten that you think has stuck with you your entire life?
Great question, and I have the answer right away. You may not get what you deserve, but you can get what you negotiate for yourself. And what I mean by that is, going back to what I said, don't be humble when you have the work to back it up. And also, I know everyone out there in their own careers and in their own passions have seen people who are very much less talented than them make it further. And that's because they're out there every day letting people know that they're ready to work, letting people know that, hey, I'm a musician, hey, I'm a painter, hey, I'm a diversity and inclusion specialist. Author, wine expert, you know what I mean? So, and New York City, I think, is the mecca of that.
It's true.
The beauty of that quote to me, it just reminds me that, like I said before, no one's going to stop me on the street and be like, you seem like a talented writer. So you have to have the talent is first and foremost. That's already in the bag. Everybody has a talent. Everybody's good at what they're good at. What people forget to do is get out there and negotiate and put themselves in front of people and say, no, I actually deserve this amount of money for what I'm doing for you. I'm not gonna, and you can do that in such a way that doesn't sound douchey and doesn't sound pretentious or annoying if you have the work to back it up, the communication skills to read someone's energy and give them the communication style that they appreciate. And also ask a few questions about them. Nothing pleases people more than talking about themselves. So the way I relate to people is, oh my gosh, and I just put the focus on you, but I'm injecting little things about myself. I write about that. Can I send you a sample? You know what I mean?
The secret, the juice that it takes to build a network right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your audience matters.
Yeah.
Not everybody's your cup of tea.
No.
Not supposed to be.
No.
Who you connect with is who you're meant to connect with, and who you'll monetize with, who you'll build with, who you can ultimately convert to a customer, a client.
Yes.
So
and
yeah,
it's okay
for
to
sure.
hear no. Don't be discouraged by no. It doesn't mean that you're trash at everything you do. It just means that this is not a good fit.
That's it. Again, so speaking from my own lens, being an African American woman, you know, what we joke about in our vernacular is, you know, the code switch.
Yeah.
You know, when am I, you know,
the
listening?
corporate voice.
The corporate voice comes on and says, yo, girl, where you been?
I know. And I would always laugh at you. You'd be like button up tip and like in the hallways, and I'm like, no, I don't.
This is why you get an invite to the cookout.
I won't bring potato salad.
No raisins. Damn potato salad.
First of all, I actually hate mayonnaise, so I would never eat potato. I know. Shocking, right?
Thanks so much to Shannon tonight. It's been a wonderful conversation. Tune in Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for all the juice on all these wonderful careers that we talk about week after week. And hopefully you're inspired. Hopefully you enjoyed the time with us. And we can't wait to talk to you again. Cheers.